If you think the title of Prince pinned to BTS is just because he's ridiculously handsome, you're sadly mistaken. This isn't just a label for visually intoxicated fans. It's a fact that goes deeper than just good looks and a sweet smile on stage. And if you think this is just an exaggerated fan fairy tale, you might want to listen to the rest, because this time, we're going to reveal a side of Taehyung that you might not even be aware of. The side of a true prince, not in the royal sense, but in terms of what makes him truly invincible in the K-pop world. It's not a fairy tale, it's reality. BTS, or Kim Taehyung, is known as the iconic visual of the most influential group in the world today. But if you think his power is all about the exterior, you're falling for the most common illusion in the entertainment industry, judging a book by its cover. The truth is, this prince title doesn't just come from his symmetrical face or the royal aura he often displays on the red carpet. We're talking about something stronger, more stable, and deeper. Her personality, originality, and inherent cultural influence. And in this regard, V is truly invincible. Let's take a closer look. 1. Self-identity that never wavers. In the controlled, regulated, even polished to a shine world of K-pop, Taehyung is an anomaly. From the moment he appeared, he was different. The way he talks, the way he chooses to dress, the way he expresses his art, everything feels off the standard idol template. She's not the type of idol who's afraid of looking weird. Instead, she makes her uniqueness her strength. From the fashion style that is sometimes difficult for the public to understand, to the way she answers interviews that are often off-script, it all shows one thing. She knows who she is, and she doesn't want to be someone else. In personality psychology theory, this is called self-concept clarity, a person's ability to understand and accept who they are without hesitation. Taehyung has that. And it's expensive, because even many big artists are still busy crafting their identities to be accepted by the public. Taehyung? He's already at the stage where he's actually influencing the public standards. 2. Consistent and authentic artistic aura. Now we're getting into the realm of aesthetics and art. Taehyung isn't just visual, he's an artist. And not just because he likes painting or jazz. It goes deeper. Since the early days of BTS, V has shown a strong interest in visual art. He once cited Van Gogh as his inspiration, not only because of his emotional painting style, but also because of the existential struggles captured in Van Gogh's works. When she creates songs like Scenery, Winter Bear, and Blue and Gray, we can see how she is one with that artistic meaning. In modern aesthetic theory, there is a concept called aesthetic authenticity. That is, when an artist is able to channel his or her reality into the work honestly and consistently. Taehyung falls into this category, and this is what makes him invincible compared to other idols. Many artists try to look artsy because of trends. Taehyung doesn't follow trends. He is the trend. 3. Social dominance without the need to control. When we talk about princes, we also talk about leadership. But Taehyung isn't the type of leader who stands at a podium and speaks loudly. He's a silent leader whose influence comes from his presence alone. In modern sociological theory, there's the term informal authority. Authority that comes not from position, but from the natural respect of those around him. And this is exactly what happened to V. He may not be the official leader of BTS, but just look at how the other members treat him. With respect, with warmth, but also with a certain distance that shows how strong of a personality he is. He doesn't impose his will. He's not trying to be in the spotlight. But somehow, the spotlight always goes to him. 4. Emotional toughness not on display. People often mistakenly think V is a weak, sensitive type. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Her emotional sensitivity is the hardest form of resilience to replicate. In the theory of emotional intelligence, one important aspect is known. Emotional regulation, the ability to manage one's feelings, remains stable under pressure and not explode easily. Taehyung is particularly strong here. When there is tragedy, pressure, or negative comments, he rarely seems reactive. He chooses to express his feelings through art or silence. And silence in the celebrity world doesn't mean weakness, but evidence of self-control. This is why he is called a prince, not because he is meek, but because he is calm in the midst of a storm. 5. Emotional connection with fans that's not a gimmick. One thing that sets V apart from other idols the most, the way he builds connections with fans. He doesn't just show up in front of the camera for promotions. He really lets fans into his personal world. Whether it's through photos he takes himself, songs he writes from the heart, or small moments in live that feel very real. This connection isn't formed from marketing tactics. It's a two-way emotional connection, what communication theory calls parasocial interaction. But V managed to take this interaction to a higher level, parasocial intimacy where fans really feel known, not just acquainted. And that's something that can't be replicated. And one more thing that often goes unnoticed when discussing BTS V, his ability to survive in the midst of such high expectations. Taehyung didn't just survive because he was part of BTS. Quite the opposite. BTS is what it is today because he's part of it. His role in the group may seem quiet and not very vocal in terms of leadership, but if you look closely, every era, every major change in BTS journey, there's always a trace of Taehyung in it. Be it in terms of visual concepts, musical direction, or even the energy on stage. And that's no coincidence. In the world of the creative industry, there are so-called silent influencers, people who don't say much, but whose actions shape the direction of the group. Taehyung is the most obvious example of that concept. He's not always at the forefront, but he influences from behind elegantly. That's why he's called invincible, not because he competes with others, but because he doesn't need to. He's in his own league. At the end of the day, perhaps we can say, the true prince is not the one with a crown on his head, but the one who can stand with his head held high despite the changing world. And Taehyung proved that a long time ago. No fuss, no drama, no gimmicks.